Okay, everybody, I'm back. Just had to run and get some lunch and drop off our save the dates, which went out today at the post office. And so, yeah, I'm back to finish this particular magazine with you guys. I also wanted to do a little wedding show and tell. I don't know if you're down for that, but as you can see, I'm not wearing my ring because I wanted to show you the box it came in. Excuse me, there's a little cat hair on it. So this is the box that it came in. My fiance got it from Rare Earth, which is an Etsy shop. I don't know if you can see that. Like I said, it needs to be cleaned. Usually it's a really pretty peach color. Today it's kind of pink because of like a little bit of soap scum and stuff that gets on there. That's just, if you wear a ring, that's just what happens. But it's normally very sparkly, and I would highly recommend that Etsy shop, Rare Earth. She has a lot. It's all recycled gold and a lot of lab created stones, so it's all very environmental. Anyway, that's the side. So that's that. Just for comparison's sake, I thought I would show you. I was in a previous relationship. We were gonna get engaged. He bought a ring. And things didn't end up working out. We're still friends, but we just weren't meant to be husband and wife. So I bought the ring off of him, since he didn't actually get a chance to give it to me before I broke up with him. And this is in no way a comparison in that I love this ring and my relationship with my fiance so much more. But I just thought, might be interesting to see another engagement ring. So this is lab created white sapphires. There's a little thing there. Which apparently are worth nothing. I tried to sell it. But they're very pretty, and it's a custom made ring also. Both of them are. And this is from Green Carrot. I don't know if you can see that on the side of the box. So both environmentally friendly jewelers. And it's pretty. I don't particularly need it for anything or want it. I assume I'll probably give it to my, oops, there's hair on me. Give it to my kid someday. One of my kids. It doesn't have any particularly bad juju associated with it. It's just not, it's not being used, but it's pretty, I think. Well, anyway. I like this one a lot more, but that says a lot about our relationship. My fiance is like the best thing ever. He's my best friend, so there's no comparison there. But, I hope the guy who was going to give me this finds happiness too. He's in a relationship and seems happy, so that's good. Anyway, okay, so where were we? Let me just check the light here, make sure there's enough light. Yeah, okay. Alright, so let's see. I think we were sniffing this in the last video. I'm not sure what this is. GRL's touching new video from their song Lighthouse. Must be some kind of girl group. Oh, do you see what I see? I like the horsehair trim, which I found out is not actually horsehair. thank goodness, because I'm a vegetarian and I really like this trip. And I went to the bridal salon and I was like, I really like this, but if it's horsehair, I can't buy it. Because presumably it's not a vegetarian friendly thing. But it's not horsehair. Yay. Okay. We all know how I feel about these. So yeah, I won't say anything about that. This is a new designer. I've never heard of this person before. They have an interesting name. Luson Mandongas. Okay. I'm sorry. Dongus. I don't know. That makes me giggle a little bit. Sorry. That's totally mean. But this dress is interesting in that it doesn't really follow any of the contours of her body. And her gloves are interesting. It's a very high art dress. Interesting. Okay. Pronovius. It's beautiful lace. I think that they used Photoshop to make a illusion neckline more invisible, but I think I've seen it in the store, in the salon, and it's very noticeable. But it is a really beautiful lace, I have to say. Pronovius does a really good job with their lace work. This is something that I think I would have liked as a little girl. It's very 1960s to me. It's also very, what's the word? Like, I can't think of the word, but you know, like people who live in, like Martha's Vineyard, and that kind of set, society set. I like New England society. Interesting. All about the perfect dress. 43% started dress shopping less than 6 months before the big day. I did mine 10 months. Most popular shade for gowns, 51% did ivory, 39% did white. I think white is really hard to pull off on a lot of skin tones. And 10% did another color. And I think I fall into both of these categories. It's a peach color. 46% found their dream gown at the first store they visited. Wasn't me, but it was the second store, so kind of cool. How many dresses did you try on? Just one. 15%, 2 to 5, 37%, 6 to 10, 32%, more than 10, 16%. And I think I was in here, 6 to 10. How did you know you found your dress? I couldn't stop looking at myself in the mirror and smiling. True. It was the dress I couldn't get out of my mind. Well, I didn't leave the salon. I bought it right away, so it didn't make me feel like I needed to lose 10 pounds. I never really felt like I needed to lose 10 pounds, but when I put the veil on, yeah, the veil does help. I have to agree with that. actually tried it on 3 times before I was sure. Nope, just tried it on once. Who was your shopping entourage? 58% my mom. Yep, she was there. 33% my maid of honor. She was there through part of it. 9% said my guy. Nope, he wasn't there. And 19% said no one, which I think is kind of lonely. But, you know. We may have already seen an ad for this dress, but I like it. I know it's kind of different. I like the bow, the ribbon at the natural waist. I like the cap sleeves that drape in a really pretty way. I even like the illusion neckline. I'm not sure about all the ruffles, but they're not that in your face, so it's neat. Okay, Angel Sanchez. Yeah, I think that V-necks really accent collarbones well. I happen to have a really prominent clavicles, so I think that my dress, which is a V like this with more thinner straps, is going to make that look really nice, but it makes hers look really nice too, so. Okay. I follow Compartis on Instagram. They're pretty neat. That's Chocolate Company. This dress is really interesting. Not necessarily in a bad way. It reminds me kind of like of honeycomb. And this is strange, but like everything below the waist is actually kind of pretty and unique. This, I think, might be trying a little too hard, or I don't know, but yeah, and it's, you know, almost $1,400. Pretty color though. This is a neat idea to do with your hair. I think it's practically impossible to do with my type of hair, which is kind of fine, but it's pretty. Oh, Tara Keeley, another wonderful designer. She is gorgeous, and I love her hair, and I think that's probably how I'll do my hair, big in waves. My hair is a lot longer, or maybe it's behind her back, I can't, or behind her shoulder, I can't tell. But, yeah, pretty hair. Strange, like it's not a very, it goes from, I don't know, it's a fine dress, I guess. I guess it's fine. Yeah. Prom. That's just what it reminds me of. And interesting. Pretty. You probably are going to hear my cat, who's eating a little ways away. Just a heads up. All this stuff is gorgeous. But very expensive. It's an interesting idea. Turn a framed photo into a table number with some translucent paper and luxe lettering. That was kind of neat. This is cool. Obviously, like a little much, but you know, if you're the fashion forward type, that would be neat. I do not do feathers because those came off an actual bird, and that makes me sad. But otherwise, it's pretty, and I like her headband headpiece. I also like these shoes. Oh, but they're leather, and they're $1,200. But they're gold, which I dig. And this is a neat idea too. Putting flowers in a bird cage, though I'm not sure what the symbolism of that is. Okay, Bella Bridesmaids. Again, Zach Posen has like a weird hair gal. But my neighbor's walking his dog. Another pretty dress, I think. I don't know that you need the sleeves, but it's an interesting touch in this case. Sorry about the dog barking. Wow, this is really classic stuff. Like debutante with the gloves and everything. Reminds me of the Gilmore Girls when Rory has her coming out party or her debutante ball or whatever that is. Just reminds me of that. Though I do like this little handkerchief detailing there. And this is the texture to the bottom and to the top here is really interesting. The stripes or it's a striped texture. Oh, a horse. Sweet. I don't know if that's a bolero or what, but I think she could do without it. Would be a really interesting dress just by itself. It's so smooth. And is this supposed to be a bridesmaid's dress? I don't know. Maybe it's peach. I'm not sure. Huh. That's kind of interesting. I would recommend premarital counseling. Zach and I got a jump start on it like a few months into our relationship just because I'm big on therapy. And we've been pretty solid now, so yeah, I would recommend therapy to everyone actually. But some people can't afford it. Get that. Not a fan of this dress. This shape, I don't know, it just looks like a nightgown. I don't know. Something about it rubs me wrong. But the flower in the middle of the chest piece is pretty. I will say that. Oh, I folded down the next page. It's probably something I like. I'm not a fan of the appliques. I don't know, they just don't. I don't think they have that much. And the sleeves. I think I just wanted to read this later. Pretty shape, pretty texture. I like it. Olia Zavozina. That's a new designer. I haven't heard of her before. I dig it though. No, I'm not a fan of any of these. I think they photoshopped these two women together. Which is kind of strange. Maybe these two women too. Belsois and Barge. She really likes these kinds of necklines. I like the V under the armpit. I don't know how I feel about it. It's an interesting detail, I will say that, but I'd be so afraid that it would come away from the dress and show other things that might make me uncomfortable during the wedding. This is kind of pretty. I like how it drapes. Yeah. Nothing's speaking to me on this page. Just trying to figure out if this is a brown tie. I think it is, with a black suit. That's different. And the dress is pretty from what I can see of it. I'm not a big fan of the all-over lace, as you may remember. I think there's a dog drinking outside. That's what it sounds like. I don't know who, I guess some people would wear red to their wedding. It's cool. I don't particularly like the dress, but you know. Okay, so what Disney princess was this supposed to portray? Actually, I don't know who wore red. Well, anyway. I mean, the next one is pretty obvious. Little Mermaid, right? This is something that back in 2006 my friends would have worn to their prom. Just saying. Okay, Cinderella, you get that. Jewelry insurance, they say it's really important. Okay, so it doesn't look like Brides likes the typical halo rings either, so maybe I'm not alone. This is very over the top. What if you lost that? It'd be like, how much is that? What number? 3? Oh yeah, so it says diamond band in 18 karat white gold, prices available upon request. You know what that means? Yeah. This is a beautiful ring and it's so unique. Unfortunately, it is $7,250. The band, however, is $1,860. Not too bad. $160. Okay, my coworkers and I were very weirded out by this dress. I'm pretty sure it truly is sheer. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to look like a goddess, but I might save that for some other occasion. I don't know. You know what? Who am I to say? I just don't think I want my grandma seeing my bits. And this part reminds me of like the Princess Leia bikini bottom. I will completely admit that this is beautiful. I just don't know how practical it is. This is beautiful. This is beautiful too. It's not a wedding dress, but Julianne Huff. I don't know how to say it. I'm not up on my celebrity peoples. That's pretty. I like the off the shoulder. It's very flattering on people. Sophia Tolley. Pretty shape. Too much lace for me. Also pretty shape. Beading's a little excessive for my taste. Sophia Tolley, Australia. Okay, this is a sequin dress. Rock on, girl. Okay, and Vera Wang, unfortunately, has hopped on the trend wagon. It's flattering. See what I mean about the collarbones, clavicles? Very pretty, very highlighted in a dress with that kind of cut, the V cut. No, not for me. Kind of 1920s, yeah, deco. That's interesting. Crystal beading and major tool bring the drama. That's pretty. That's a really interesting way to ruche or drape or whatever you want to call it. That model is very dramatic looking. Reminds me of Neapolitan ice cream. Just me. So Taro and, I can never pronounce this, Midgley? Sleeves. A very pretty antique lace though. Okay, off the shoulder. I actually don't, for a bridal gown, for a wedding dress, I don't like any of these. But for other occasions, they'd be pretty. Floral prints for your bridesmaids. Cute. That one reminds me of a little girl's dress. That's the kind of bouquet I think I would like. Loosely tied white, lots of texture. And this is Minted, which is, it turns out, the company that that we got our save the dates from, and the company that we'll probably get our invitations from. And I'll do a show and tell later about those, the save the dates. Anyway, they're a fabulous company. Everything's customizable for the most part, and easy to use and inexpensive, and they're located in the Bay Area, which is cool. Oh, high-low dresses were really popular last year and maybe the year before. Yeah, I think they're neat. This tulip kind of shape is a particularly flattering shape, I think. But they're all kind of cute. I don't think this does anything for anybody, especially the color, but the other ones are cute. I hope that you wouldn't expect your bridesmaids to shell out $1,300 on a dress, but everybody's in their own pay grade, I guess. Berry is a beautiful color. I'd call that more fuchsia though. This talks about leg makeup. I really think that if you just, I think that's a little bit of overkill, but you know, who am I? Okay, so that's okay, I guess. Not a big fan of the appliques and the texture on the lower part. This is about the shoes. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of any of these. It's hard to find, as it turns out, vegan bridal shoes. I found some. They're being shipped, but I'm not sure if they're gonna work or not. This is a very pretty shape. Very pretty. I really like how it flares just under the butt. I think that's flattering for a lot of people. These are all about the new Bridesmaids lines. Eva Mendes, Ralph Lauren, White House Black Market. Not seeing anything here that I would want to wear a second time if I were a bridesmaid. Unfortunately, when we went to New York last year, we did not go to the Met, and I wish we had, but I'm sure we'll go again. Okay. Interesting. The ruching makes it look a little too baggy, I think, but otherwise pretty. Nothing grabbing me. It's nice, but don't. What's with these weird bouquets? I guess we must be in the bridesmaid section now. David Tutera, Beaumont Sherry. Yeah, that show. Something about rescuing women from their terrible wedding ideas, or what he considered terrible wedding ideas. It's pretty. Too much sweetheart neckline, I think. You don't need to make it that accented. You know? I don't know. Sleeves. Okay, these are Louboutins. And they're pretty. I'm sure they're leather, and I'm sure they're like $1 million. Not really, but so interesting. So they're saying save versus splurge. This one's to save with are $500. So I'm wondering how much these Louboutins are. I hope I'm saying that right. I would guess that they are probably like $1,500. Oh, interesting. This reminds me of this. Kind of similar. Yeah. Halo. Oh, awesome. Gold, just what I want. Okay, so these are leather, sadly. And they're almost $600. And I don't really see anything else. How do work? This is kind of a pretty cut. I like how it arcs. Dropped waist, or that's kind of how my dress is. Oh my god, it's shaped. Oops, missed page. Why do you insist on making your bridesmaids look so frumpy? None of these dresses are very fun. That's cute though. These are kind of cute. Jenny Packham. I can tell she is very couture, and I like her uniqueness. I'm sure this would look good on some people, and it looks good on her. It's actually quite a beautiful dress. Not traditional, that's for sure, but pretty. Beautiful lace work. Claire Pettibone. I think they're finally getting more. At least this is what a lot of people out here in the Bay Area kind of look like, and this is kind of the aesthetic out here, I'd say. Probably other places too, but just this is kind of what we're going for, I guess, a little bit. My fiance looks like this, just with redder hair. Okay, so these are kind of like mother of the bride type things, I think. Elegant, very elegant. You want your mom to feel pretty too, right? She's gonna be in pictures. That's cool. Men's David Tutera men's collection. He does not look comfortable in this. I don't know, maybe that's just my opinion. This is different. I've never seen Victoria Kyriakide's designs, so that's interesting. Oh, Bliss by Monique Lullier. That's pretty. Horsehair trim. Okay, Beauty Awards. Okay, almost $2,000. $1,851 is the average amount brides spend on beauty during their engagement. Where did they get that number? Advertising. How are we doing online? Okay, doing okay. Disclosure. I'm not sure how much I trust stuff like sections called beauty awards. A lot of these products have advertising in the magazine, so I just wonder how impartial they're being. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. I like the off the shoulder, like the shape. I think she could probably do without the neck piece. Her clavicles are probably so pretty. I don't know why she's hiding them. Ian Stewart, why did you do that to that model? Okay, Barcelona Bridal Week. May 5th through 10th. Interesting. Grand Bienvenue. Pasarea Gaudí Novias Fashion Show. Novia España International Professional Trade Fair. Or as they say, Barcelona. Stella York. Nothing's grabbing me here. I think these are for kind of more, I don't know, traditional brides. Ask Drew. I love Drew Barrymore. She's fabulous. I just love her. She's worked through some hard stuff in her lifetime, and her personality is so awesome. Okay, the world's only 5-star luxury included honeymoon. All I could stare at was her butt. I wonder if they did that on purpose. Such an awkward photo of her butt. Sorry, not sorry. Cristiano Lucci. Different. Very back accentuating. Here's Jasmine Couture again. This is pretty. This is very pretty. If I wanted to go traditional bridal, I'd probably do something like that. It's very elegant and figure flattering too. You know, the ruching on the bodice is very flattering to hourglass shapes, I think. Le Houlier Bridesmaids. These are probably very expensive. Just a thought. Okay, these are beautiful plates. I said I wasn't going to register for plates, but I have to say those are really pretty. Oh, that's strange. The gold only goes part of the way around and the rest is silver. Wonder why they did that. Anyway, those are really pretty. The flatware is black. Huh, that's interesting. Kind of reminds me of plastic flower. Very deco. Not a bad look. It's kind of the only one I like. These pages. Plan like a pro wedding planner. We're hiring a wedding planner. Kind of, or coordinator, I should say. Oh, interesting. This is an interesting color combo. Poppy and sky. They do go really well together. I wouldn't call that color sky though, that's more like ice blue. Gorgeous florals. So lush and abundant and pretty. Lemon and slate. This is really a popular color combination. I was just reading about how much the imitations are. $1,700 for 100. Yeah, a little high. The box. I'm just trying to read what this cocktail is. Face invitation brighter. Oh, it doesn't say. The one thing that I'm interested in on this page. It looks kind of like a lemon drop, but I appreciate, first of all, that it's in a coupe. I like coupes, and that it's garnished with this pretty flower. It's nice. This is pretty. Very natural. Oh, oh, it's so sweet. That's a lot of detail for one little ring. I don't know. Pacific and Emerald. Yeah, yeah, those are cute. I mean, the color combo is cute. It's very, gosh, there's that word again. Preppy. Preppy. It's very preppy, that color combination. She has a San Francisco showroom, Sarah Seven. And I was gonna go. However, her dresses are so pretty, but they're not made for large busted women. I mean, this is so pretty. I mean, it's so ethereal. I really dig that. Okay. You would think that Richard Scudder might have a better photograph taken of himself since he's a photographer, but okay. St. Patrick. St. Patrick's designs, as I recall, or no, maybe that was St. Pucci, or I can't remember the brand. St. Patrick. It's very preppy. It's pretty. I like the drop waist. I also like the texture, the contrasting textures of the bodice and the skirt. It's yeah. Okay, David's Bridal. To me, this just looks like a bunch of little girls playing in the sea, which is sweet, but maybe not necessarily what you want for your wedding. Pretty. Doesn't look super supportive, but pretty detailing. What is this? CB Couture? Okay, okay.